So let me ask you a question. Have you guys ever made a decision and 6 months down the road realize it's just caused more and bigger problems? Well, it happens all the time to us, and it can become a real challenge. One of the things that rang true to me when I heard a speaker the other day was basically the unintended consequences of law. I'm really translating it to the unintended consequences of decisions. And I think one of the things that's really fascinating by that is we're doing that even now when we do this with AI, because when we are putting AI into the conversation, we are doing what would be considered first order thinking, right? If I do this, it builds me this. If I do that, it builds me this. And it works great and it's extremely effective, but it's probably not the most helpful way we can take advantage of our AI tools and our AI counterparts that exist out there in the world. So one of the things I want you to start thinking about is what's that considered that second order thinking. So let's kind of walk through that first order thinking conversation. And when we do this, let me just give you some examples. We're going to give this from an AI perspective. And when I work on this, you're going to hopefully it'll ring true for you, or hopefully maybe it won't ring true for you, and you'll see some other options. So it asks, first order thinking, it asks questions. If I do this, what happens immediately? Example, if I automate my follow-ups, I'll get more leads. That's true, right? If I automate my marketing, I'll get to produce more content. Literally what I do all the time with this. So it's also true. If I use AI to write my emails, I'll save time. Again, that's still true. But these are first order questions, first order outcomes. And while this is helpful, and again, I have several programs that teach exactly how to make this happen and save loads of time. The problem is, especially from a growth perspective, a leadership perspective, that's just step one. What we need to start doing is creating some of those ripple effects and teaching AI to help us ask more critical questions and to get past day one, and let's start looking at day 101 in these conversations. And that's really what we're trying to do here, is help you think about what's next in the conversational pool. So that second order thinking is not what happens first, but what happens after that, and then what happens after that. So let's talk about an example. Imagine that I'm a real estate agent using AI to automate their entire follow-up system. So the first order outcome would be, I want to get more consistent communication. That's great, and it will help. Second order questions is, will my communications start to feel generic? Will my clients feel like they're just part of a marketing funnel? Will I slowly lose that personal touch that I actually built my reputation on, right? Now when you put those in there, those decisions look different. Definitely not wrong, definitely more complex. And that's the second order thinking I want you to start teaching your AI programs to start working with and building inside the environment. This is going to help you to do more things. It's going to help you to build a stronger set of rules in your world that's going to help AI save you time and be authentic and hit in a true voice to more people. And that's really what I'm trying to get you all. That's really what I'm trying to get you to be inside of these tool sets, because automation is great. Loss of authenticity is horrible, and loss of the relationship is loss of business. So I don't want you to do that. I want us to really start coming out there and making sure when we are working inside these platforms, we are building really solid examples and start getting that second order thinking in place. So let's talk about where I can help you do some things. AI is really extremely good at a lot of things, but some things that I've been doing some really good work with on here is brainstorming strategies. I have it be my brainstorming partner, and we get very complex and very detailed because we're going to the what's next. How does this hit? This doesn't land. This does land. What are the costs and consequences of doing this, right? So when I ask these more complex questions, it has helped me build my 2026 year to be a lot more effective, a lot more intentional, a lot more future focused. And as long as I'm following it, which is part of the trick, I can now come out there and really make that happen. It's also been really great for me to build those marketing plans. Again, as we used as the example earlier, I'm not just saying build me a content marketing plan. That's great. It'll work. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the trick becomes, how do we make sure it's landing for your audience? Are you asking those more complex questions when you're talking about marketing? Is this authentic? Is this unique? Because that's what I'm hearing for a lot of people, because we're just asking the one question, right? It sounds redundant. If you're not asking them to evaluate the redundancy or evaluate what you're trying to do, yes, probably every other month, if not every month, you'll have the same topic, the same videos, the same things going on, and it will become a really big challenge for you. It can also build you really great workflows, right? I do think that's where a lot of the future of AI is going to be, especially when we teach it well how to work in our world, is what we're going to see inside of here is very complex workflows that work. It will go find our clientele. It will go and build specific campaigns and communication strategies that will listen to them and communicate to them in their terms, in their voice, in the way they want to be communicated in. And that's where I think it's going to help us a lot. But one of the things I want you to make sure you understand is AI does not experience the consequences. It doesn't deal with your reputation. It doesn't understand or feel the client trust. That's going to be on us, right? And it's going to be us to communicate that in there. So there are really good tools out there that will help you identify your customer avatar. And when you do that, that will eliminate some of those things. There's some really good ones out there, but you really want to make sure that you are understanding that stuff and evaluating this and being critical. AI can automate some things. That client reputation, that client relationship is something it's not going to automate. So I really want you to start focusing on that a little bit more. And it's our job as leaders of our clients, leaders of associations, leaders of companies. It's our job to make sure we are evaluating those outcomes. We are making sure that we are being authentic and getting into the consequences and the complexities of our business and what we have to do. That's where we're going to shine. That's where we're going to separate. That's where we're going to make the difference in the world using AI to get to that next step. It's not avatars. Don't get me wrong, avatars are fun. It's great. It's a really cool tool, but it's using AI to strengthen, improve, and qualify your relationships with your clients. And the nice thing about this is you are executing faster, especially if you don't skip the second order thinking questions. It's going to be really, really helpful. So just to talk about this real quick, here's something that it's been happening a lot right now. Professionals start optimizing everything. They do the marketing, their content, automation, lead follow-up, all through AI. And on paper, everything becomes more efficient, and it's definitely true. But sometimes something interesting usually happens. Right? A relationship starts to get a little thin, or we feel a little less personal, or whatever. This isn't unique. This is definitely something that comes out. But those second order questions that we keep talking about will make you not have that happen, right? So start thinking ahead. So what I want you to think about is this. Strong professionals build simple habits. Before implementing something new, they pause and ask a few questions. I'm going to encourage you to ask 3 questions. What is the immediate benefit? What new problems might this create? And what happens if everyone in my industry does this? And that's where we're at right now. AI is the new hotness, not the new hotness, but it's the hotness. And we're going to get a lot of duplicated conversations. I've never been a big fan of using mass marketing tools because it's all the same content. I love AI because you can get very customized and very tailored if we're asking these questions, these more complex questions. And that last question is really powerful. And you can actually have AI answer that question for you because it will go research. So AI is an incredible tool for producing answers, but it's not about that. And for leadership, it isn't about answers, it's about the consequences. We need to start thinking 3-4 steps ahead, playing chess, so to speak. And when we start using these tools in a more powerful way, we're going to get more powerful results, and we're going to stand out, and we are going to lead. So that's what I want you to do. So here's something I want you to try this week. The next time you use AI in your strategy plan, don't ask, will this work? Ask what happens next. And then ask it again. And then maybe ask it one more time. So I hope this video helped you. I hope everything in here was somewhat useful for you. If it was, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, share it with other folks. Hope it's helpful for you all. But also, more importantly, is what I want you to do is tell me in the comments what happened when you started asking those second order thinking questions. Hope you have a great day.